Well, Gary, ultimately ended in disappointment, but for so long it looked like it was going to be a great afternoon.
Yeah, it did. First 35 minutes, I would say that's as well as we played. Our counter-attacking and our attacking play was absolutely brilliant at times, and you know, against probably as good a side in the league as there is. We've come to their home, and we really probably should have been 3 or 4 goals up at half-time going in. That's where we just got to have a slightly better mentality. There's a big moment, I think, with Clayton's chance, where I don't think he realises the lad's behind him, so I've got no complaints about that, and they end up getting cleared off the line. Then we have a chance with Groundsy that gets cleared off and around the line, or the keeper saves it. Then we've got to get into half-time at 2-0, and we've got to take that lead into half-time when you've worked so hard for it. I mean, a disappointing thing for me is we just couldn't quite see the half out in terms of our mentality. We switched off and we're very sloppy for the 6 or 7 minutes before half-time. And that allows them back into it. You know, they scored. I think the first one was fortunate. You know, I think the corner comes in. We don't need to give the corner away. We can let the lad stay in the corner. He's not going anywhere. I think we poke it out and play for a corner. Ball comes in and Darren tries to punch it. It hits the lad on the head and goes in. So they've had a little bit of luck. A little bit of our own undoing. Second goal's excellent play from them, but again I'm disappointed. We've got a great shape and we've allowed them to cut us open with bits of good play. But again, they're a very good side and they always ask you questions in the attacking sense. You can see that. And then the game changes, the mentality of the game changes, the crowd lift, the players lift. And I think the second half, we even had a great chance at 3-2 down. But we've got to go longer. We can't concede 3 goals after being 2-0 up in the space of about 10 minutes. And again, we've conceded a poor goal straight after half-time.
As you mentioned there, it was sort of the one goal they got back, the first one, that seemed to change the atmosphere around here, and especially when you come to a place like this, you don't want to be giving away goals as soft as that one.
No, I agree, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to be strong enough. If it means you've got to get the ball down the other end of the pitch, if it means you've got to be a little bit ruthless with each other and make sure we keep our shape and just see the first half out. You know, you've worked hard, we've done all the attacking play that we needed to score the goals, and then you've got to make sure you've got the discipline to see it out. And like I said, it's a combination of our sloppiness and our lack of mentality and their excellent attacking play. But again, it's another game where there's small margins. In a game that term, we've had 3 decisions in the game where we end up going into the final third with great possession. We would get a definite shot or a chance on goal from it, and they were all giving us offside, and they were all blatantly onside. One of them was 4 yards onside. One was Clayton, one was Shins, and one was Lloydie Dyer. Second half, their goal comes from an equally similar position where he's level, and they get the benefit of the doubt, and we end up conceding a penalty from it. So I'm not complaining about that, but again, sometimes you need those to go your way if you want to see the game out. So. Little bits I was disappointed with, but I'm very, very positive about the first 35, but I'll still be disappointed going home.
I suppose it is difficult to find the positives after a defeat, but do you think when you reflect on it you can take heart from how well you played for 35 minutes? I know it's a 90-minute game, but you did contain the side at the top of the league and cause them some real problems.
I think maybe in 2 or 3 weeks I might take some heart from it, but at the moment I'm disappointed that we get ourselves into such a fantastic position and don't make it much harder for Bournemouth to win the game, and that's my disappointment. Very pleased that we've caused one of the top teams all sorts of problems. You know, we really have caused them all sorts of problems first half in the attacking sense. I thought tactically we got the game spot on. Then we've got to see it out. So that's the disappointment. The disappointment is you get into that position, you've got to try and see it out. But a side like Bournemouth makes it very difficult for you to see that sort of lead out so early in the game, because they end up going forward so bravely, they end up with so much possession of the ball, they move the ball so quickly, and I just think our concentration levels just couldn't quite match theirs for 90 minutes.
Next up, it's a big one at St Andrews with the visit of Wolves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, looking forward to that. I mean, if you'd have said before these last 2 games we'd have took 3 points from the 2 of them, I wouldn't have been overly disappointed. And again, like you say, in both games, lots of positives. We've now got to see if we can piece it together. It's going to be a very difficult game against Wolves, local derby. It's be a fantastic atmosphere, I'm sure, at home. And we've got to show the same mentality. Again, people have questioned whether we've got anything to play for. I think if you watch that first half, you can see we've got everything to play for. And we're doing that very, very well, and we're working very hard to keep improving. So I'm looking for a good performance, but again, it's going to be another tough game at home.